Namaste, dear students. As usual, first of all, I want to welcome you to our English class of grade 8. See, we are learning different things in Unit 8 of our English textbook. So today also we have something new. So for it, you have to be ready with your, again, necessary materials. They are your English textbook, an exercise book, a pen or a pencil. So all of you, please be ready with them. Are you ready now? Very good. So first of all, I want to remind you what we learned in our previous classes that's given in Unit 10. In our first class of Unit 10, we read the text of Good Habits and we did the comprehension exercises. Then in our another class, we learned to use the modal verbs, okay, for predicting or expressing the degree of probability. And at the same time, they are used to tell our plans. And in our third class, we did some task of listening audio, And at the same time, after that, we learned something about for speaking skill. That is to tell about our plans using the modal verbs that we practiced in our grammar. And today, we have something new. So can you guess what we are going to learn in our today's class? So for it, first of all, I want to give you a clue. And based on that clue, you will have to guess what we are going to learn today. So it's very interesting. So the clue for you is, look at, what are they doing? You can see a boy and a girl, okay? And you can see a bubble. What are they doing here? All of you tell me. Yes, they are talking, okay? They are talking. So for it, again, I want to play a short audio. Listen to a short audio, okay? Then after, I want to ask you some questions. So you have to listen to this audio very carefully.
About school exams. The teacher talks to the children about the need of exams and asks them what they think of exams and so on. After the discussion, a conversation between the two students takes place on the following lines. Teacher helps where needed. How have you performed in your half-yearly exams?
In some subjects I did very well, but in others not so good.
How many marks have you scored in mathematics?
I have scored 60 marks in mathematics.
It is not a very good score. Are you happy with the score in mathematics?
Yes, I'm quite happy with it. I'm a bit weak in this subject. This time I have got more marks than I did during my term exam.
Won't you like to improve your results?
Yes, surely. I'm trying hard and next time I would like to do much better.
Who has got the highest score in maths in your class?
3 students have got 100% marks in maths.
That's very good. Why don't you take help from them whenever you have a problem in maths?
Sometimes I do take their help. Mostly I go to the teacher with problems.
How have you scored in English?
I have got 80 marks in English.
That's really an excellent score. That must be the highest in the class.
No, second highest. My friend Pavan got 85 marks, which is the highest.
I'm sure you will also do very well in English.
Hope so. English is also my favorite subject.
How have you done in science?
I have got 70 marks in science.
And in all, what is your score?
Not so bad, 72%.
Next time, you will surely excel. I'm sure.
Hope so. but I don't like examinations.
Why don't you like examinations?
I get very nervous before exams. Sometimes while writing an exam, I forget things.
But examinations are necessary, aren't they?
I don't know, maybe, but school can be more fun without exams.
That's true. Maybe we should have a few term tests and not half-yearly and final examinations.
Yes, that is a good idea. But is it possible?
Why not? One day it may happen.
That would be grand.
I hope after looking at the picture, after listening to a short audio, you might have guessed what we are going to learn today. So that is, again, I want to show you another model of this text, and from here you have to tell me. You looked at the picture, you listened to a short audio, now I am going to show you a written form of the text. And after this one, we will discuss some questions and then you will have to tell me. And I hope you will be able to tell me what we are going to learn today. So for it, now read the following text. See here, Meena, good morning Tina. Tina, good morning, how are you? Meena, I'm well, and you? Tina, I'm also good. How are you preparing for your exam? Meena, I'm trying my best, but I have great problem with maths. Do you have any, Tina? Tina, yes, I feel same, but geometry is really difficult for me. Meena, is it? But for me, algebra is difficult. Tina, it's getting late. Bye. Meena, bye. Now, looking at this text, I am very sure you can say what we are going to learn. Now, some question for you. What type of text is it? Is it a letter writing? Is it a story writing? Is it a news story writing? Then what is it? It is, yes, dialogue writing. See, what's the spelling of the word dialogue? D-I-A-L-O-G-U-E, dialogue writing. See, generally, dialogue is speaking, not writing, okay? But in our curriculum, we have expected that you should be able to compose a dialogue. You should be able to write a dialogue. Actually, dialogue is for speaking, but it is expected in our curriculum, so you should be able to write a dialogue, okay? So it is dialogue writing. What's the spelling of dialogue? D-I-A-L-O-G-U-E, dialogue. And later on you will have to tell me what dialogue is, okay? So this text is dialogue, okay? Another, why is it different from other text? I hope you might have seen a story, you might have seen an essay, novel, news stories, you know, but why is it different from others? Can you tell me? Yes, it is different because it is a conversation. It is a talking between two or more than two persons. So at the same time, they talk on a particular subject. That's what we call topic. And there are some more other things, features of dialogue writing, okay? That's why it is different from others. Again, what elements are necessary in a dialogue? So what are the elements? What are the things that make a writing piece is a dialogue? What makes that is different from other text, other writings? That's what we are going to talk. Now, I want to give you a task. You have to write a short dialogue, okay? So for it, I have a question for you. And the question for you is, write a dialogue between two friends about the profession they like. So you have to quickly compose a short dialogue. Please start writing. Are you writing? Very good. I hope you might have finished writing a dialogue, and your dialogue can be like this. See, Rajamati, it can be different from mine. Don't worry, okay? So this is just a moral dialogue for you, and you can have different ones. Rajamati, hi Apurva. Apurva, hi Rajamati. Rajamati, which profession do you like? Apurva, I like teaching. I want to be a good teacher. And what about you? Rajamati, I want to be a doctor. Why do you want to be a teacher? Rajamati asked. Apurva says, to teach the future pillars of the country. Why do you want to be a doctor? Again, Rajamati speaks here. She says, I want to treat the sick people. Okay, I have to go now. It's getting late, Apurva. Now Apurva says, she says bye, Rajamati, and Apurva says, yeah, it's getting late to me too. See you. Now it is an example of dialogue writing. I hope you might have also written this type of dialogue in your notebook. Now I have one more task for you. Here is a table for you, and in this table you have to fill something, So we have already discussed, dialogue writing is different from other writings. Do you know why? Because of some things, because of some elements, and you have to find out the elements here and their examples. Some elements are given here in this column, and some examples are given here in this column example. So your job is reading this dialogue, you have to write down. For example, Rajamati says, hi Apurva, and Apurva also says, hi Rajamati. So example here given is, hi Apurva. So what is it? Is it a greeting? Is it beginning of the dialogue? Is it the main part of the dialogue, or is it a setting of the dialogue, or is it the end or farewell of the dialogue? So for example, I want to give you, say, it is beginning or greeting of the dialogue, okay? So like this, from this dialogue, you have to find out who are the speakers here, okay? You have to write it down here. And what is the topic of their dialogue, conversation? You have to write down here, and how they wrap up their dialogue, how they end up their dialogue, you have to write down here, ending or farewell, okay? So this is your task. Please, you fill the missing things in the table. Are you doing? Is it easy for you? Good. I hope you might have finished writing the missing information in the given table. So all of you, in this dialogue, who are the speakers? Who are the characters? You have to tell me. Who are they? It's very clear. They are Rajamati and Apurva. You are absolutely correct. In this conversation, two persons are involving, and they are Rajamati and Apurva. That's why the speakers or the characters of this dialogue are Rajamati and Apurva. Okay? Like that, have you found the topic on what they are talking, on what they are involving to converse? See, this is what we call topic. Without topic, we cannot do a conversation. So what's the topic between them? Yes, their topic is about profession. Apurva says that he wants to be a good teacher, and Rajamati says that she wants to be a doctor. It's their profession, okay? And can you tell me, how do they end up their dialogue, conversation, ending, or we can say farewell? What is it? All of you tell me loudly. Well done. It's bye. See, Rajamati says bye to end our dialogue, and in response, Apurva says see you. Okay, this is how they wrap up their dialogue. So from this, I just like to discuss about the elements. I hope you might have already got the elements that are necessary for composing a dialogue. Now, I just want to give you a few minutes for you to write the elements in your notebook based on the table. Please write down. And then we will discuss about the elements. Are you enlisting the elements in your notebook? Very good. I hope you might have already noted down the elements that are necessary for a dialogue. And they are, can you tell me what is it? See, topic. Without topic, for example, if you want to talk to anyone else at that time, on what topic do you speak? See, without topic, we cannot hold a conversation. We won't have any dialogue without a topic, you know. So we must need a topic. And in our previous, let's say, dialogue, Apurva and Rajamati were also talking about their profession. And I made you listen a short audio. There, the teacher and student, they were talking about their exams. Yeah? So there should be a topic. Without topic, we cannot involve in a conversation, or we cannot involve in a dialogue. Then after, can you tell me what you have written in your exercise book? Another element that we need for a dialogue, that is setting. See, if you listen to the audio carefully, there was a setting. One of the speakers told about the setting there. And in our daily practice also, sometimes we write two lines. For example, we can write, Ram is going to the market and he meets his friend Sangeeta, and they start talking about their holiday. See, we can write this setting in the brackets also. See, this is what we call setting. See what I have written here. Ram is going to the market and he meets his friend Sangeeta. They start talking about their holiday. So this is the setting. This is the background on what scene, on what situation they are talking about their holiday. So before starting our dialogue, you know, we can write down this type of setting, but it's not an obligatory for us. Okay, setting, another, let's say, element. Now, what is another element that you have written down in your notebook? Can you tell me? Yes, it is speakers. Without characters, without speakers, you know, we cannot hold a conversation. So we must need minimum at least 2 persons, and there can be more than 2 persons. It can be 3, 4, 5, you know, but there should be at least 2. In our previous dialogue also, there were 2 characters. There were Rajamati and Apurva. Okay, so at least 2 persons. So another element, can you tell me? Oh, you are so smart, you know. Beginning. See, in a conversation, whenever we meet a person, immediately, very quickly, we don't start talking on the topic. First of all, we ask about health condition. We say namaste, hi, hello, good morning, you know, according to the relationship with that person. If that person is senior and we have to respect, we have to use one kind of greeting like namaste, good morning, good afternoon, you know. But if the person is not that much respectable and our friend, you know, we can say hi, hello, you know. That's how we start our conversation. So if we don't mention their greeting, at that time the dialogue doesn't sound good, you know. So it's better to begin our dialogue with beginning, greeting that is. So another element. So again another element, can you tell me? Oh yes, body. Now after greeting, you can talk on your topic. That's what we can say, body or subject matter. Okay, again, and you can talk about it in detail. So for example, why do you want to be a doctor? Why do you want to be a teacher? You know, so they can give their logics. So in detail, we can talk. And while we are writing a dialogue on that particular topic, we can develop some exchanges. That's what we call body, okay? After this, we have to end our dialogue. That is farewell. After talking, you just stop speaking and do you go to your house immediately? No. You have to formally end up your dialogue. You can say, oh, it's getting late, bye. Like that, Rajamati and Apurva says, oh, I am in a hurry, you know, to complete my tasks. It's time to say bye. That's how we can say good night, bye-bye, see you, goodbye, you know. We can use these sorts of expressions to end up our ending. Is that clear? So discussing about these all things, I hope you can say me what is dialogue. So can you tell me, please, all of you, try to write it down in your notebook. Have you written down what is dialogue? See, we have discussed a lot. I have shown you examples. We have discussed about the elements. So after this, what is dialogue? See, I hope you might have written this type of thing is dialogue. Dialogue generally refers to a conversation between two or more than two persons on a particular topic. See, so to be a dialogue, there should be two or more than two persons. I have already told you, and you have seen that teacher and student in the audio, and in our dialogue, Rajamati and Apurva, you know, and there can be more. And there should be a particular topic. In the audio also, the teacher and the students talked about the exam. And in another dialogue, Rajamati and Apurva talked about their profession, they like, okay? And there is a topic also, there, you know, are speakers also. Such things should be there in a dialogue writing. Now, you should not forget that there can be formal and informal dialogues, okay? So I just like to tell you, please write it down. Formal dialogue. See, formal dialogue and informal dialogue. Generally, conversation is informal in nature, okay? Informal in nature. And if we are talking to the respectable person, and if we are talking to the person who is holding a good post in an office, at that time, we have to be very formal, okay? And most of the time, we become informal. Do you know, informal means that we don't use very perfect grammatically correct structures in a complete sentences. For example, if someone asks me, where are you going? If I am going to Pokhara, I can say Pokhara only. It's not necessary to say I am going to Pokhara in a complete sentence. So in that sense, and we use some other things informally. So you have to remember that dialogue can be formal, dialogue can be informal. But most of the time, in our case, we become informal in dialogue writing. So for that one, I want to give you the tips for writing dialogue. So the tips for you are, please, you all write it down in your notebook also and listen to me also. Start dialogue with proper greetings. We have to start our dialogue with greeting. That's what we have already discussed. That's what you have already seen. That's what you have already listened to. So, proper beginning, proper greeting, okay? Hi, hello, namaste, good morning, good afternoon. Such things you have to use. Such expressions are considered as the greetings, and that's what we call proper beginning of the dialogue. Don't forget it. Another, keep a balance between the participants. See, only if one person is speaking every time and another person is just listening to him or her, it's a very boring conversation. That listener may sleep, it's not interesting. So to make our dialogue interesting, both persons or those who are involving in a conversation should have balanced role. Listening also, speaking also. If one speaks, another should listen. And after that person, another person should speak. So this is what we call exchange. Technically, exchange means if Ram and Sam are talking, Ram speaks one time and then Sam speaks another time, one time. That is what we call one exchange. If Ram speaks for 2 times and Sam also speaks for 2 times, that is what we call 2 exchanges. Okay? So if 2 persons speak one after another, turn by turn, that is what we call one exchange. Do you know one exchange? What is the spelling of the word exchange? E-X-C-H-A-N-G-E, exchange. For example, Ram speaks, Sam speaks. Sam speaks. See, if this person, 2 persons speaks one after another, this is called one exchange. And again, if Ram speaks and again Sam speaks after Ram, then it becomes 2 exchanges. See, it becomes 2 exchanges. So is it clear to you about the exchange? And generally in our exam, you are told to write in 5 exchanges or 6 exchanges. That is also, you have to be very careful. So another one is use contracted forms like we have So in our formal dialogue, we use the full form. For example, full form means, how do you write I am? You write I am. How do you write I have? You write I have. How do you write they are? You write THUI, they are. But in our conversation, dialogue writing also, we become informal. So to be informal, we use their contracted forms. Or in simple word, you can understand as, let's say, short form. So what's the short form of I am? I apostrophe comma am. Am. You have to pronounce as am. Like that, ab. See, I have, not necessary to say ab go, They are. See, they are. You have to use this type of contracted form of the particular words to be informal. Okay? But in our formal writing, formal dialogue, don't forget, we have to use the full forms of these words. Another one is, do not distract from the subject matter. What's the topic? You have to talk on that one. You have to write on that topic, okay? You should not write some other unnecessary things there. Otherwise, your dialogue becomes lengthy also, and that becomes boring also. At last, you have to end your dialogue with suitable expression of farewell. You have to say goodbye, bye, good night, Such expressions you have to use to end up your dialogue. So have you written these tips in your notebook? And are they clear to you? Very good. If so, now I have some questions for you. See, let's practice. You have to compose dialogue, okay? And the situations for you to compose dialogues are: write a dialogue between 2 friends about their planning for Saturday. Another one is write a dialogue between 2 friends about their examination preparation in 5 exchanges. And another one is compose a dialogue between 2 friends about their hobby in 6 exchanges. For example, number 1, let's try to write down together. Okay, we are going to write a dialogue for question number 1 together. I want to write on the board and you also write it down in your notebook. See, you have to make a dialogue for planning for Saturday. So Ram, they are very popular characters in Nepalese context, Hey Sita. Hey Sita. Sita says, Hi Ram. Hi Ram. Again Ram says, so what can it be? What's your plan? What's your plan for this Saturday? Now Sita says, you can write anything, whatever you like. Here Sita says, nothing. See, this is what we call being informal. For example, here Sita is not using the complete sentence. I don't have any plan for this Saturday. She does not say like this. She says only nothing. Okay. Now Ram says, what about going to watch a movie? Then, now Sita says, so she can agree or she may not agree. But here I want to make her agree, okay? Sita says, oh, what a good idea. What a good idea. See, or you can, she is happy. Oh, what a good idea. Now, Ram says, if so, see you there, see you there at the gate of the cinema hall. Cinema hall. Now Sita can say, okay. Then now Ram. Bye. Now Sita says, bye Ram. See, this is how they can wrap up their dialogue writing. So there is beginning and they are talking about their planning, Saturday, and then finally they end up their dialogue with a proper expression of farewell, bye, This is how you have to complete for number 2 and 3, okay? Like this, I have some task for you to do in your free time. So the first task for you is write a dialogue between you and your brother or sister about eating junk food and its effects in 5 exchanges, okay? You have to write down whether junk foods are good to our health or not. Number 2, compose a dialogue between 2 friends about the importance of online class in 6 exchanges. So 5 exchanges means there should be 10 times speaking, 5 times by one person and 5 times by another person. 6 exchanges means 12 times, 6 times by one person and 6 times by another person. In that boundary, you have to write the dialogue. Is it clear to you? Very good. Dear students, I hope you enjoyed our today's class, and also I hope that you might have got better idea about writing a dialogue. So this much for today. Keep practicing. Have a great time. All of you. Goodbye.